We will again write down the elements, the 17 elements that are very essential. Those were carbon, hydrogen, oxygen, nitrogen, sulfur, phosphorus, potassium, calcium, magnesium, manganese, molybdenum, boron, iron, copper, zinc, nickel, chlorine. So we have those 17 elements with us, okay, which are very essential for plant growth. So uske baad we talked about how are these classified, these elements. Now there are some things which are required always in large quantity. जैसे हमने introduction में बात करी कि जैसे carbohydrate, protein and fats are required in much larger quantities and vitamins and minerals are required in small quantities. बट इसका मतलब ये नहीं होता कि द रोल ऑफ वाइटामिन और मिनरल्स इज वेरी लेस, रादर उनका रोल इंपॉर्टेंट होता है बट स्टिल दे रिक्वायर्ड इन लेस क्वांटिटीज. और अगर you take much more quantity of let's say vitamins or minerals, it can also lead to further diseases. Yes, there are diseases which are caused due to extra intake of vitamins or minerals. So there is an optimum level, a level जिसके बीच में you have to take those things which are less required. So in the same way we'll classify them according to the requirement of the plant, whether the plant requires them in larger quantity or whether the plant requires them in less quantity. तो ये जो classification है ये है based on quantitative, based on quantitative requirement of plants. So it's basically a classification. Okay. Based on quantitative requirement, those nutrients which are required in much more quantity are known as macronutrients, while those which are required in lesser quantity are known as micronutrients. Okay, so first is macronutrients. And the second one is micronutrients. So macronutrients को there's let's say weight के terms में कैसे वो करते हैं. Macronutrients are those which are present in excess of 10 millimole per kg of dry weight. Okay, those molecules or elements which are present in excess of 10 millimole per kg of dry weight are known as macronutrients, जबकि which are present less than 10 millimole per kg of dry weight of plants. Okay, क्योंकि जो माइक्रोन्यूट्रिएंट्स आर फाउंड इन वेरी लेस क्वांटिटी उसे हम ट्रेस एलिमेंट्स भी कहते हैं. We write it down. Okay. Okay, these are also known as trace elements. जो macronutrients हैं, if you take excess of them, it would not be very harmful. It is not harmful at all. लेकिन जो micronutrients है, अगर आपने उसे optimum level से ज़्यादा लिया, it will or the plant takes it in a level that is more than optimum level, so it will show a phenomena that is known as toxicity. Toxicity is shown if more than optimum level. Okay, while in this case there is no toxicity. No toxicity that is shown here. And let's now enumerate them, which are which. Usually जो macronutrients होते हैं, they have a role in the structural and the functional aspects. The structural it has a structural role in plants. Okay, जबकि when we're talking about the trace elements, it has much of functional role, जैसे activation of enzymes हो गया, या act as a catalyst in a reaction. So they have limited roles but important roles nevertheless. Okay, so let us start differentiating these 17 into macro and micro. So first we go for macro. Macro वो है जो which are found in large quantity. So वो होंगे carbon, hydrogen, oxygen, nitrogen, phosphorus, potassium, calcium, magnesium, and then there is sulfur. Okay, so these are elements, जो 9 elements हमारे पास है यहाँ पे. Those 9 elements are structural component in plant, that is they're very important macronutrients, but the remaining are micronutrients. Okay, so we will list the micronutrients as well. Micronutrients यहाँ पे क्या क्या बचे? We have manganese, we have molybdenum, we have boron, okay, and iron, copper, zinc, nickel, and chlorine. Okay, these are 8 elements. Total they make 17, 8 plus 9. Okay, so out of these even micronutrients, iron is the most required micronutrient in it, and carbon, hydrogen, because the whole body of the plant is made up of carbon, hydrogen, oxygen, so it forms the bulk, and nitrogen is the most required element. And usually जो fertilizers होते हैं, they are like combinations of N, P, K. N is nitrogen, P is phosphorus, and K is potassium. These are the 3 requirements they usually fulfill, but nitrogen is something which is required by plant always and in large quantities. So nitrogen fulfillment के लिए like farmers usually use यूरिया एंड अदर डेरिवेटिव्स, नाइट्रोजनस डेरिवेटिव्स, जिससे कि प्लांट की ग्रोथ इज नॉट रिटार्डेड, इट्स वेरी वेल ऑफ गुड. So we have talked about on the basis of quantitative requirement. We'll talk now of on other parameters